Ah, off on an Icelandic adventure that will leave your friends feeling glacier with envy. Welcome to our Iceland travel guide for the land of fire and ice. Well, its scenery is so stunning, you'll think you've mistakenly wandered onto the set from Game of Thrones. Oh, wait, you just might have. Iceland, the island nation, is more than your convenient stopover en route to Europe. It's a country where elves are real for the locals, horses have fabulous hair, and you can literally watch Earth cook your dinner. So pack your sense of adventure and maybe a waterproof jacket as we dive into the wonders of Iceland. First things first, let's talk about when to visit. If you're a fan of, seeing the sun, aim for summer. From June to August, you'll get the midnight sun phenomenon where it's light almost 24/7. It's perfect for those of us who need extra hours in the day to cram in all the sightseeing. Plus, it's the warmest time of year, with temperatures soaring to a balmy, wait for it, 10 to 15 degrees Celsius, 50 to 59 degrees Fahrenheit. Break out the sunscreen and flip-flops. Okay, maybe not the flip-flops, but don't discount winter. From September to March, you've got a chance to see the northern lights. Picture this, you're soaking in a geothermal pool, sipping on Brennivin Icelandic schnapps watching the sky dance with colors. Just remember, winter also means shorter days and colder temperatures, so pack layers. Think onion, not banana. Now, for getting around, a quite popular option is car rentals for the freedom to roam around at one's pace. But let me warn you, some of Iceland's roads make the moon look like a smooth bowling alley. If you're going to the Highlands, you will need a 4x4, and always check the road conditions before you set off. You really don't want to be that cautionary tale in some Icelandic saga. If driving isn't your thing, don't worry. Iceland has an extensive bus network. It's like a magic school bus, except instead of Ms. Frizzle, you've got Thor at the wheel. Okay, not really, but the drivers are usually friendly and knowledgeable. Now, let's dive into some must-see attractions. First up, the Golden Circle. It's the tourist trail equivalent of Iceland's greatest hits album. You get Ingvellir National Park, where you can literally stand between two tectonic plates. It's also where they filmed scenes for Game of Thrones, so you can recreate your favorite moments. Just don't get too into the role-playing. The park rangers probably don't want you declaring yourself the king in the north. Next up on the Golden Circle is the Geyser Geothermal Area. The real star of the show is Strákur, a geyser that erupts every few minutes. It's kind of like nature's version of a water park, except you don't have to line up, and the water is a lot hotter. Pro tip, stand upwind unless you fancy a sulfur-scented shower. Last but not least on the Golden Circle is Gullfoss Waterfall. So majestic, it makes Niagara Falls look like a leaky faucet. The spray can be intense, so bring a raincoat. Or don't, and tell everyone back home you went swimming. Speaking of swimming, no Iceland vacation is complete without a dip in the Blue Lagoon. Yes, it's touristy. Yes, it's expensive, but floating in milky blue water while surrounded by lava fields is one of those experiences you probably won't forget. And then there are the silica mud masks that make for great selfies. Just remember to tie up long hair, as that silica is not kind to your luscious locks. For a less crowded and more budget-friendly option, check out the Secret Lagoon. It's not actually a secret, sorry hipsters, but it's less well-known than the Blue Lagoon and just as relaxing. Now, let's get off the beaten path a little. Head to the Westfjords, a remote peninsula in northwestern Iceland that looks like it was designed by a drunk cartographer. It's home to the waterfall Dinjandiey, nature-made stairwell down the mountainside. It is so pretty you may want to cry. Don't worry, everyone will just think it's mist from the waterfall. The Highlands of Landmannalaugar have one such otherworldly experience for your trek. It's got multicolored rhyolite mountains and steaming hot springs the stuff sci-fi movies are made of. Hike the Lagavegur Trail if you're feeling adventurous, or just soak in a hot spring if you're feeling lazy. No judgment here, you're on holiday. Now let's talk about food. Icelandic cuisine has come a long, long way from its fermented shark days, though you can still try that if you're feeling brave. Reykjavik is full of great restaurants, ranging from the high-end to small, cozy cafes. Definitely try the Icelandic hot dogs, weirdly amazing. If you want to get a bit fancier, try some Arctic char or lamb. Just maybe skip the puffin, those little guys are too cute to eat. Now, a word about the weather. It's unpredictable, the locals have a saying. If you don't like the weather, wait 5 minutes. Pack layers, bring a waterproof jacket, and maybe some waterproof pants while you're at it. And shoes with good grip, those lava rocks can be slippery when wet. Let's talk about some uniquely Icelandic experiences. Ever wanted to snorkel between tectonic plates? You can do that in Silfrafisher. The water's crystal clear and a balmy 2 degrees Celsius year-round. Don't worry, they give you a dry suit. You'll look like a neoprene sausage, but you'll be a warm neoprene sausage. Ground yourself with a little horse riding on an Icelandic horse. These pony-sized horses feature this very unique gait called the tolt. It is like a really smooth trot, perfect for those of us that normally come away bow-legged after horse riding. If you're coming in winter, be sure to explore an ice cave. These brilliant blue caverns form inside the glaciers and can be visited from around November to March. It is like stepping into nature's own ice palace. Just do not lick the walls, your tongue will thank you later. Now, a few practical tips. Credit cards are widely accepted, including for small purchases. In fact, Iceland is almost a cashless country. But do carry some cash in case of an emergency or for one of those rare places that don't take cards. Tipping in Iceland isn't expected. You might even get some funny looks if you try to tip. If you want to show your appreciation, do so with a hearty tack. That's Icelandic for thanks. Speaking of Icelandic, there's not much to worry about on the language front. The majority of Icelanders speak great English, but it is always appreciated if you learn a few basic phrases. Just don't try to pronounce age of geological unless you want to tie your tongue in knots. Regarding accommodation, you have alternatives including upscale hotels and charming goose houses. For something a bit out of the ordinary, try sleeping in a converted sheep farm or a bubble hotel where you can see the northern lights from bed. If you're on a budget, consider camping. Just make sure you're in designated camping areas. Wild camping is a big no-no. And be prepared for all weather conditions. Remember, in Iceland, there's no such thing as bad weather, only inappropriate clothing. A word about responsible tourism. The nature in Iceland is fragile. Follow marked paths, don't pick any plants or disturb the wildlife, and for the love of Odin, don't carve your name into the moss. It takes centuries to grow back. Finally, take the true Icelandic spirit of Edaredist, pronounced Theta red dust. In somewhat rough English, it is a saying that means it'll all work out in the end, so if your plans go amiss, just follow the flow. Perhaps that turn you missed will take you to a hidden waterfall, or that restaurant closed down will take you to the best hot dog stand in town. Remember, Iceland is so much more than pretty pictures for Instagram. Cultured and steeped in fascinating history, it boasts some of the friendliest people you will ever meet. Chat with the locals, learn about the sagas, and maybe even try to spot an elf or two. Iceland is a land of contrasts, where fire meets ice, where ancient traditions meet modern innovation, and where you can experience all 4 seasons in one day. Iceland is the place that will challenge your perceptions, awaken your sense of adventure, and leave you with memories to remember for a lifetime. So pack your bags, bring your sense of wonder, and get ready for a journey through fire and ice. Just remember to bring a good camera. Your friends back home are never going to believe this place is real.